So, what happens when a car stops being just a car? When it becomes something else entirely, a cultural statement, maybe even a piece of rolling art. Today, we're going to dive into how Mercedes-Maybach is trying to pull off this exact trick, transforming one of the world's most luxurious vehicles into, well, something more.
This quote from the team behind the whole project, it really says it all. The Maybach is already what they call an absolute iconography. I mean, it's already at the very top. So where do you go from there? How do you possibly improve on that? Well, you don't just tweak the rules. You invent a whole new language.
And to really get what they're doing, we've got to learn that new language. It's a dialect of luxury that's borrowed from a totally different world, one that lives on runways, not roads. We're talking about the world of high fashion.
Which brings us to the absolute core of their strategy, Haute Voiture. Now, that phrase is obviously designed to sound a lot like high fashion, but what does it actually mean when you apply it to a car? Well, to figure that out, we first have to look at its more famous cousin.
Haute couture, right. Most of us have a general idea of what this is. Super exclusive, one-of-a-kind clothes, all handmade with insane attention to detail for just a handful of clients. It is the absolute pinnacle of fashion as an art form, and that definition right there, that's the blueprint for everything we're about to see.
And here, right here, is where it all just clicks into place. You can see how the principles of high fashion, things like bespoke craftsmanship, being a limited edition, pure artistic expression, are being directly translated into the car world. We're talking hand-finished details, extreme scarcity, and collaborative artistry. So this isn't just a little inspiration, it's a full-on strategy to apply the logic of high fashion to a high-end car.
Okay, but how do you prove you're really serious about this kind of artistic pivot? You don't just go out and hire another car designer. No, you bring in a true cultural force, one of the most influential creative minds of a generation. The collaboration with the late, great designer Virgil Abloh was the first and loudest signal of this whole new direction.
And this partnership is the perfect example. Working with Virgil Abloh wasn't just about designing a cool-looking car. Of course not. It was about using his incredible talent for bridging different worlds, from streetwear all the way to the Louvre. It was a strategic move, designed to inject the Maybach brand with the cultural credibility of high art, and to position this car in a gallery, not just a fancy showroom.
So that's the big high-level idea. But this whole Haute Voiture thing would be pretty meaningless if it was just talk, right? It needs real, tangible proof. And you find that proof when you start to look closer, much, much closer at the details themselves.
Because the story here isn't just in the engine specs or the car's silhouette anymore. It's literally woven into the fabric of the interior. This is where the concept becomes real, something you can actually reach out and touch.
And check out these details. This is not your standard luxury car interior. We're talking about high-fashion bouclé fabric. Seriously, this is the kind of stuff you'd expect to find on a Chanel jacket, not in a car. Then you've got rose gold accents, crystal white leather, and even sustainable, vegetable tanned leather. Every single choice here is a deliberate wink back to the world of haute couture.
Okay, so let's recap. We've got an artistic vision from a certified cultural icon. We have materials inspired by couture fashion, and we have extreme scarcity. When you put all those pieces together, you get to the real, final, strategic goal of this whole project.
Look, the end game here isn't just about selling a very, very expensive car. It's about fundamentally changing how we even think about it. It's about moving it from the category of transportation into the category of collectible asset. And that really speaks to a change in luxury itself, where having cultural significance is becoming the ultimate status symbol.
And when you break it down, the transformation is a really clear four-step process. First, you start with an incredible foundation, the Mercedes S-Class. Then you layer on an artistic vision with a cultural giant. Step 3, you execute that vision using materials straight out of high fashion. And what's the result? A rolling art piece.
And that brings us to the final, all-important word, collectible. What does that really mean? It means it's an asset. It's something whose value isn't just about what it does, but about how rare it is, the story behind it, its cultural weight. Just like a rare watch or a famous painting, the goal is for its value to actually go up over time.
So this all leaves us with one final thought to chew on. By taking this icon of the road and infusing it with the DNA of the runway, Mercedes-Maybach is asking a really big question about where luxury is headed. When a car is treated like a masterpiece, where does it truly belong? In a garage or in a gallery?